This is our opening scene. It's called Enforce. It starts off with our group ident, then fades into black and you hear non-diegetic sound of a phone ringing, and you also see a montage of the area in which we have filmed in. And you can see that with every ringing sound the phone makes, a title comes in. And also, this is a close-up shot of a sign which says CCTV in operation for 24 hours, which highlights the presence of authority in the area, which is something we wanted to get across in our opening sequence. The fact that you hear the characters before actually seeing them is quite effective because it leaves the audience thinking. Also, in this scene, we made it quite shaky, and that is on purpose, because we wanted it to be at a viewpoint of someone who's running. So therefore, we filmed it at eye level. However, to improve this, we should have actually ran with the camera whilst filming it to make it more realistic. However, we didn't think of that at the time, and we had to edit it to make it shaky on Premiere Elements. This is a mid shot of an electric box, and on it says danger and do not enter, which is already a warning sign for the audience. And we purposefully filmed this as it had the danger signs on it. Here you start to hear the contrapuntal sound, which we thought was more effective than having typical scary music, because then we thought it would be too predictable. So the contrapuntal sound's quite interesting. And also with every time that each character speaks, the title comes up. The fact that she just said this time shows that she's got history with the criminal that she's trying to chase. The fact that he also said that she's not in the right state of mind is another warning sign, because it shows that she shouldn't be doing what she is doing. Also, these camera angles we thought were quite effective and worked well, because it shows more interesting shots, which we thought makes our opening sequence quite pleasing to watch. Here we add quite fast-paced parallel editing, and it jumps between two different scenes, and you also hear the baby crying, which creates more tension, and the baby crying shows panic. This is actually a flashback of the person that she is about to chase as a baby, with his mum rocking him. This pan we thought was quite effective because it's the only bit of light that you see throughout our opening sequence, only bit of bright colour that you see throughout our opening sequence. So we thought it was quite effective to add some colour, but also around it you see how dirty the area is, which shows that the area is quite deprived, which is another theme that we wanted to make present within our opening sequence. The fact that he's just said, "Have you taken your medication?" and also you hear a pause after that, shows that she hasn't been, as she hasn't answered the question, which furthermore highlights danger, because she's a dangerous person to be around at the moment. She's mentally unstable. She's currently chasing a guy. You also hear the Foley sound of them running and ambient sound as they're outside. So we wanted to make the ambient sound heard and not completely silent, to highlight the fact that they're outside, and it makes it more effective. The fact that she just said that she's armed while she's mentally unstable and she hasn't been taking her medication is quite alarming, which can be picked up by the audience and can start to scare them. The baby crying also shows panic. The fact that he's just said it's not a good idea proves that she's doing something completely wrong. And also this scene we thought was quite effective because you see Kira emerging through the darkness, and you also hear the Foley sound of her running, and the fact that she's emerging through the darkness and the scene's quite blurry gives her a sense of mystery, and it also makes her look quite sinister. Also, this is also meant to be from the perspective of someone running. That's why we've taken this eye view and made it shaky. And that was another parallel edit and jump cut of another flashback again. The fact that he's just said he's calling the sergeant adds drama to the scene and tension, because the sergeant is someone with quite high authority, which shows that she's about to do something terrible right now if he needs to call the sergeant. You also hear Foley sound again of our character running, and it's taken from a low shot. And the fact that he's jumping also creates more tension, because it shows that he's trying harder to get away if he needs to jump over things. Also, we thought that this scene is quite effective because you can't actually see clearly what it says on that sign. However, you could think that it is a hazard, which adds effect and adds the effect of the unknown to the audience. And also another more fast-paced cut of another flashback. Now you see Kira jump again. However, after this shot, you hear that the music gets quieter, and but the footsteps get louder, showing more tension, showing that something's about to happen. Also, this scene is also quite quiet, and it's a pan of the council flats, and is taken at quite a high view. This scene's quite effective because it's showing that the lights are getting darker, the scene's getting more darker, which furthermore highlights a danger that's about to happen, something bad's about to happen. These jump cuts as well create more tension as the scenes are just getting much faster. This long shot of them two running is also quite effective, as you hear their sound, the Foley sound of their footsteps. Then that's a close-up taken at low point of them running. Here's a close-up of their feet taken of them running, and then it jumps back again to the mother. And now these scenes are quite fast-paced until this one, which shows a little bit of calmness, giving time for the audience to think. We thought this bush scene was quite interesting because it's a more interesting camera angle to be shooting from, and it still doesn't show everything clearly, which gives room for the audience to think and imagine things. Also, this is another low shot, and it's a close-up of the feet of the officer and the teenage boy. And this part is supposed to be shown from the perspective of the teenage boy as he's looking around for an escape. However, he can't find it. And this is the title of our opening sequence. And it fades, it dissolves out into the sky. This scene is the clearest scene you get of the teenager, which creates mystery around him. And you can also see how scared he is, which associates the policewoman to be a very dangerous and brutal character. Also, it fades to black and you hear a gunshot. And at this point, the audience know that she shot him, which makes the audience instantly hate her. Then after the gunshot, I've written down the director's name.